Goldman, Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. 105.9 FM. AM 630. WMAL.
It's 7:07 on the Morning Majority. Event tonight. Americans for Tax Reform and WMAL are proud to present a special screening of the Atlas Shrugged movie, Atlas Shrugged Part 1, at Regal Gallery Place tonight, 7 p.m. And we have a guest with us. Harmon Kaslow, producer of Atlas Shrugged, is here. It's fitting because Harmon Kaslow sounds like an Ayn Rand character name.
Well, I hope it's one of the heroes.
Definitely. So putting this movie together, huge deal for fans. People have been waiting for this for so long. It's such a legendary book. I just wonder how you guys wrestled with casting people to become these characters who everyone has an idea about.
Well, first off, the person really responsible for pulling it off is a guy named John Aglioloro, entrepreneur. He got the rights 20 years ago, hoping that Hollywood would actually make the movie. It was at a time when there was a survey. People had asked, what book had influenced your life the most. Atlas Shrugged showed up at number 2, right behind the Bible. So here he is armed with this iconic American novel, a survey. Hollywood would not bite. Really, in the spirit of individualism, one of the themes right out of the book. He financed the movie himself. During his 18-year journey in Hollywood, a number of just major Hollywood actors had wanted to be associated with the film. But when it came time to actually make the film, we just realized that the title itself was just so much bigger that really didn't deserve to be shared on the marquee with the major names. So we were just driven by trying to find the most talented actors to play these roles, and we think we came up with really an amazing cast.
In a way, do you think it's better that it actually wasn't made 20 years ago, just because today it seems so many people can relate to the book than maybe even 20 years ago when things were a little bit better economically in this country?
Yeah, no, exactly. She started to write the book in 1946, which is after Roosevelt's third term. It, in a sense, sort of parodied his New Deal policies and was really designed to create some resistance to the growing power of government and government intervening. And I think as time has gone on, we've seen the implications of what happens when the government just continues to socialize things, intervene, overregulate. And you're right, it just seems so incredibly relevant to what's going on right now that it seems as if there wasn't any better time to have made it than this past year.
For those who may not know, give us a little history of the author, Ayn Rand, who was just a remarkable individual. And
no doubt. I mean, she was an immigrant to this country. She came here from Russia. She had experienced socialism in Russia and seen the detriments that had occurred to her own family as their property was taken away by the government. And she came over here. She worked for Cecil DeMille. She saw the great opportunity that America, presented. She had studied philosophy, and I think rather than go out and create a textbook, she wanted to create a story so that her views and thoughts and philosophies could be accessed by just millions of people. And it turns out that her primary books, Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged, have inspired and influenced just a great population of people and remain, bestsellers today.
Well, that's what strikes me is they're perennially huge bestsellers. And Atlas Shrugged is an incredible story and mystery, and there's action and romance and everything. And Hollywood doesn't come up with, a plethora of great ideas these days, it must be said. So I'm always just amazed that there was no...
Well, it's interesting is Hollywood doesn't make message movies. I mean, they make movies that they think people come in, they'll enjoy themselves, they'll buy some popcorn, they'll walk out, and they'll go on with their lives. There is a message in Atlas Shrugged. And, it takes a certain level of courage for a Hollywood studio to say, we'll bank on presenting this message. We'll try to figure out a way to reach an audience and all these various things. And again, credit goes to John Aglioloro. He had the courage to do it. There is a message. There's a growing movement in this country to try to get back to, the principles that have been set out in our Constitution. And, we were able to really tap into that emotion and that feeling that's going on right now and find a huge audience on a community level. And really we're pleased with the support we got.
We're talking with Harmon Kaslow, producer of Atlas Shrugged, movie going to DVD, by the way. We're going to have tonight's WMAL teaming up with Americans Americans for Tax Reform a special screening down at Regal Gallery Place. It starts tonight at 7 o'clock. And if you want tickets to it, you can go to our website, WMAL.com. And Chris Plants will be there as well. He's going to do a live special Q&A session afterwards. So you want to check that out. I want to ask you, it's people say it's a difficult book to read. It's a long book. How hard was it to take what's, on the pages and turn it into a film for you as a filmmaker?
Right. That's a great question because, in John's journey, he must have had 7 different screenplays written. And ultimately, when we decided to greenlight the movie, we said, the book itself is structured into 3 parts. Rather than attempt to condense this 1,100-page novel into a 90-minute or 2-hour movie, we thought that the best way to do justice to the work was simply to, adapt the first part of the book. So that's why it's called Part 1, which is great. I mean, you get introduced to some incredible characters. Dagny Taggart. I mean, how often do you watch a movie where the lead character is a woman who's smart, attractive, tenacious, hardworking? She's got the forces of lazy businessmen, bureaucrats creating hurdles for her as she's trying to save her family business. I mean, this is just an incredible role model. And rather than try to zip through this entire book, we just chose to follow the structure. So Part 1, for people not familiar with the book, you learn about the characters, get an idea about the world we're living in and the direction that it's going.
I wanted to ask, I've seen the film and I enjoyed it, but I know there's got to be nitpickers out there who call you guys up and say, for instance, for me, I'm like, Dagny Taggart has brown hair, because in my head, all hot, capable heroines have brown hair. Do you guys get a lot of that? A lot of the Ayn Rand groupies sort of coming to you and going, well, I enjoyed it, but I'm so glad you made it, but here are this and this.
Oh, no, absolutely. One of the things that we experienced with producing the movie was, a large number of people who had really been inspired, influenced by the book. They reached out to us. They really wanted to celebrate the fact that finally this book had been adapted into a motion picture. And as part of that celebration, they were not too shy to let us know, their feelings on things. But I really think for the most part, people came away feeling like, we did a good job. That the cast seemed to all fit the roles. There were some familiar faces, there were some new faces, and we've taken a lot of that constructive criticism, and we're using it to try to make an even better Part 2 as we embark in that in 2012.
Cool. As a fan of the book, a big fan of the book, I was pleasantly surprised to find that I liked the characters and the casting. I was impressed.
Well, good. Well, Mary, thank you very much. We'll take that as a huge compliment.
No,
I'm sure you're very critical of things.
Well, it's a hard bar to hit when it's such an iconic novel, and I thought you did a good job.
DVD's on sale now?
Yeah, DVD came out on November 8th. We showed the movie in theaters on tax day. We thought Election Day would be a great time for people to think about buying the DVD. It's available on our website, atlasshruggedmovie.com, or at all the big box retailers. The 20th Century Fox owned version.
Harmon, thanks for coming in very much. And tonight, the screening downtown Chinatown, 7 o'clock. If you want tickets, you can go to our website, WMAL.com. And Chris Plant's got a live Q&A afterwards. Thanks again for coming in. We appreciate it, Harmon.
All right, you guys. Have a great day.